please raise your hands for questions.
Yeah, I think just first of all, we do want to announce, Sammy Anderson will be out for the remainder of the season. We had a question post game, but I want to put that out there as well. And know that's tough on Sammy, big time competitor. Obviously wants to be out there helping his team. Unfortunately, won't be able to do that this season. And I do want to talk, a little bit about Aaron and our medical team and our staff and how they do an outstanding job with our student athletes. And I think they have been doing their due diligence, going over everything they possibly can to figure this out for Sammy. And but unfortunately, he will not be able to continue to play. But I appreciate the work that our medical team does and how they care for our student athletes. And they always have their best interests in mind. And so we'll move on from that. And I'm sure it'll be addressed at the end of the season as far as what Sammy will be doing after that point, and we'll look at it at that point. So right now we're halfway through the season, and still a lot of ball left to be played. We've done a lot of great things throughout the season. I think mistakes that we've talked about is what's been hurting us for majority of these last 4 games. I have confidence in our team that we're able to compete and play at this level. But we know we have to be able to make plays. We're not good enough to go out there, make those kind of mistakes and win these games. We have to play. You don't have to play just 100% perfect, but we have to play at a high level. And we have to make plays when plays are available to make. And our guys recognize that. We came in Sunday, and I picked it was about 20 clips. All 3 phases, and you put them up, and we talk to them as a team, and you kind of look and see what some things that the guys needed to be doing a little bit better in some of the plays, but and also and coaches too. I mean, so we talked about, put it all out there, and and I think our guys will respond this week as we get to practice. Our mindset is a 1-0 mentality. You have to have a singular focus. I mean, we have to stay focused. Today's a Tuesday practice, whatever we can do to get better today. And then, try to be 1-0 this week. And I think, we can't be looking back. We have to learn, obviously, from what we've done in the past. And we can't be looking, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. It's right here, right in this moment, right now. What can we do to be the best we possibly can be? And so that's kind of where our focus is 1-0, all focus in beating Baylor. And that's where we're at. So we'll open up with questions.
The first 3 losses, it felt like there was always 1 or 2 specific things. If this goes right, then it's a win. If that goes right, it's a win. Did it show on tape that things kind of snowballed on Saturday and a couple mistakes here and there kind of got rolling downhill?
Yeah, I think, I mentioned this at the end of the game, the first 3rd down, we had a guy open, we didn't connect. You could say, some of the air got let out right there on that particular play. It's hard to say that on the first 3rd down of the game, but we really felt that way. Kind of sensed it on the sideline. Then we get the ball back, we throw the interception. Defense did a great job of holding them to 3. But then we take the next drive down, we go score. So we're up 7-3. Even after that happened, even after we missed the touchdown, even after we threw the pick, we're sitting there at 7-3, and you're feeling pretty good about it. I think another deflating opportunity was when they drive down the field, and the 4th they fake the field goal. We get there's a 3rd down. We stop them, and we hit the quarterback in the head to get a first down on that. I mean, how many times are we going to stop them before they, eventually they're going to score, right? And they ended up scoring. And I think from that point on, we were really deflated. I think maybe you mentioned it after the game. And I think at that point, you could kind of sense it and see it. Didn't play as well after that. Didn't play it with much confidence really after that. They come back. And on that same drive, we had an interception. We didn't make it. We jumped the slant, and then their next drive, their first play, maybe second play was a slant and go, and they hit for 75 yards. Now they're right back down here again. So, and it just kind of snowballed on us, and then we never could grab it back. And against a team like Iowa State that plays exceptional defense, they're not a kind of team where you have to keep it close with them, because then they can just start, playing their defense where they're, dropping 8. There's really not anywhere to go with the ball, and you're trying to get back in it, and you can't throw the ball down the field, and it just we never got any more rhythm after that.
Is Sammy Anderson out for the remainder of the year for medical or disciplinary reasons?
It's medical. Yeah, it's medical. Mm-hmm.
4 straight losses. What is the pulse of the locker room right now? What are the vibes like in there?
Well, I mean, obviously everybody's disappointed and hurt, and I think, when you go through something like this, which obviously nobody ever wants to go through, losses like this, we have to learn from this. We have to grow from this. And I think anytime anybody goes through something difficult, it's where you see the most growth. Although no one wants to go through big time adversity like we are, I think in life, in your personal life, in your work life, and certainly for us in football, if you go through something bad, you have to grow. You have to learn. We have to, our guys have to realize how we got to this point and how we're going to get back out. And it's through energy every day, working hard every day, and trying to find ways to get better. And I think we have to utilize this, and that's what I told our coaches and our whole staff Monday, is take advantage of this. And we don't like this, but we're here now, and let's show some great leadership, and let's try to permeate that throughout our team, so that they will grow and get better from this. So that will hopefully scar down, and we'll learn and start getting some of these wins.
Keith and Chad.
I know the offensive issues aren't solely because of Emery's play. I get that. But he's had his struggles over these past 4 games, 7 interceptions during that span. Have you considered at all making a change at that spot?
No, we haven't. I mean, obviously, the other guys are competing. I think Lichty is one of the guys that we put in the game at the end, there, and give him an opportunity. I think it was 7.5 minutes to go in the game, and we really still didn't get anything generated or going. But we're always competing, and we will compete in the quarterback room. I mean, throughout practice, but I still feel like Emory gives us the best chance to move our offense. If and when a point came and where we didn't, then we'd make a move. I mean, it's just like any other position. I know that everybody looks at that position, the quarterback, obviously, but I think he still gives us the best chance to win. So that's where we are right now. But I want all our guys to compete in that room as well as every other position in this team.
You mentioned confidence. Is that sometimes as simple as just getting a win? Like,
yeah. Well, it's making a play. It's getting a win. It's it snowballs. And I think that is a. Some people are born or grew up and they just got a ton of great confidence and they have it, and it doesn't matter what whatever happens to them, they still have great confidence. Others don't, and so. But you have to generate that. You have to generate that confidence, I think, by making plays, by doing the things that they need to be doing, but also winning. And I think obviously winning cures everything. And every how you have to find that win. But I think it's one play at a time, though. I do. It's not, hey, we got to go get this win. I think it's focusing on this play, and then let's do the best we can in this play, and then move on one play at a time.
Is there something that you could possibly do different in practice, for as where not letting like a bad play snowball is something that you guys telling them maybe this week, where like against Iowa State, where that 1 or 2 plays happened and it felt like it just snowballed from there. There's something that you guys could possibly do a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything in practice that you can do as far as for that specific thing. I think we try to put our guys in adverse situations. Last week we started going up more good on good. To where you're getting speed on speed, and I think that's a good thing. We'll continue to do that. Where we're getting good one-on-one reps with our wide receivers versus our DBs. I think it obviously helps both sides. Quarterbacks have to make those reads and make the proper throws. I mean, as opposed to going against scout teams sometimes where you're not getting as good a look maybe sometimes. So I do think we made that move last week, and we'll continue to do that this week. But it's going out and executing, and I think, the way we practice, I think the guys still are getting some good looks, and they just have to continue to work on it and get better. So when the game happens, they're able to make the plays, and I think obviously that's the key is on that Saturday.
No rushing touchdowns so far in Big 12 play. How much at all has that impacted Emory's play?
Well, we really hadn't gotten down there much, to get some rushing touchdowns. I think we were on the 5-yard line at BYU, and other than that, we really hadn't been down inside the 10, really. where I think a lot of those may come from. We certainly hadn't had any long runs for touchdowns really all year. And I think that's something that we would love to be able to do and be able to have. I think as far as, the running game goes, we need to get our running backs going. We need to find ways to get them the ball to where they can, get those kind of yards that we need, because that keeps our offense balanced. That keeps it helps the quarterbacks, So I think we certainly need to do better in that regard, because I think the Q run stuff was good. I mean, I think that was a positive last week. That was our best run games, I thought, but we need to get those tailbacks going, and I think that'll really certainly help our offense. And to your point, hopefully we can, get some rushing touchdowns out of that position.
In the transfer portal era, is locker room leadership more challenging than what you've experienced before? Because you brought in 15 guys that are playing a ton.
Oh, that's a good point. I do think it's hard. I mean, it's hard for you, a guy who just gets here, who's maybe in this particular program not as vested as much as maybe somebody who's been here, 3, 4, 5 years. So, it is more difficult in that regard. I think we are trying to, find those leaders that will speak up and that will, we talked about the energy, bring the energy on game day and really for every day, practice and in the game. And it can't just come from coaches. Coaches can't just be the ones to walk in and say, "Let's go." It's got to come from the guys and that leadership aspect. And I think there is a struggle there of who feels like, man, I need to step up and be that kind of leader. But really any of them can. Any of those guys can step up and go out and lead. But I think that is a valid point. I think in this new era of football.
Any thought?
You go, Chad.
Any thought when you're looking at it, like maybe try a little bit more youth, maybe try a little bit more of the young guys, not necessarily quarterback or anywhere specific?
No, I mean, we certainly have had those conversations. Are there some guys that we want to get in there and let's see what they can do? And I certainly think as we get a little bit toward the end, we will definitely do that. I think there's some guys, and I think maybe this question got brought up, about the red shirt, because you get 4 games with that. And some guys maybe hadn't played any or one right now, so there's going to be opportunities for the guy. I want to get them in. I want to allow them to play and see what they can do. So that certainly has been brought up.
In the back.
Excuse me. We're 3 games into the Big 12 era here at UC. Has there been talk amongst the team and the coaches about adjustments having to be made to the style of play in the Big 12 so far?
No, I think more than anything, it's really executing at a high level. I think that's the biggest thing that we have to do. And as you look across the board, and when we're looking at these crossover games with people in the Big 12, the guys, you're making plays and they're making plays. They're executing, and I think it really comes down to that execution at a high level. Just you pick some games. I saw Kansas, Oklahoma State, I think this past weekend, and there was a lot. Kansas quarterback threw 5 touchdown passes and lost. So there's a lot of great ball that's being played out here in the Big 12. And even when you're playing really good like that, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. I look at West Virginia the other night. I thought they played really well and still lost. To Houston. So I mean, it's a very competitive league. You have to execute at a high level. And I'm not just talking offense. It is defense. It is kicking game. I mean, we had 2 kick returns against us this past weekend that put our defense in poor position. We're putting our defense in a bad spot. With we had an interception down on their end, 2 kick returns that came. One of them came all the way back. To their side of the field. Those are the things we got to do much better at. We can't keep putting our defense in those bad positions. And likewise, offensively, we haven't started a drive on the plus territory in I think 2.5 games, maybe 3. In the plus territory, so we're having to drive the length of the field. I mean, that's difficult over and over and over and over.
Baylor, they've had some struggles. They obviously had the massive comeback win against UCF, but you've got to expect that's a team that is going to come in here kind of looking to right the ship.
Yeah, no question. Kind of similar, really. The 2 teams. I look back. This was a team 2 years ago that won the Sugar Bowl and won 12 games. And Coach Aranda does a great job. He's an outstanding football coach. They've lost some tough games. I mean, You know, they're up against Utah, which is arguably one of the better teams in the country, and you know, late in the fourth quarter, and end up losing that game. And I think they're searching a little bit as well trying to get that win. They're coming off a bye week last week, so I'm sure they're going to be fresh and healthy and ready to go. I mean, so very, very similar, I think, roads to this point in this season with these two teams that are coming in. And, quite honestly, this comes down to, who wants it more probably this week, who's going to be hungry in this week of preparation and come out and really want this game. And, we have to do a much better job with our energy and our attention to detail, as we come out and trying to play this game this weekend.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate you guys.